He walked with a distinct limp, dressed in full police tactical gear, breaking church windows in the dead of night. But he wasn't a police officer. When Missy Bevers walked into Creekside Church to set up her morning class, she had no idea a phantom in SWAT gear was waiting for her in the shadows. Hello all, Stacy the Blackfeather Intuitive, and welcome to my Blackfeather Crime series as part of my Blackfeather Couture Divining a VIP Life readings. And today we are going to be exploring a really disturbing case of Missy Bevers. And this is the mystery, and I'm going to give you just a little brief rundown, and then we're going to pull some cards on three of the, I want to say, the most wanted to be known questions that we still have, we have not found answers to. So this is a haunting, unsolved mystery centered around really disturbing surveillance footage of a tactically clad killer. In 2016, fitness instructor Missy Bevers was murdered inside a Midlothian, Texas church. CCTV footage captured her killer walking the halls minutes before she arrived, dressed in a full, bulky police tactical uniform, SWAT helmet, and vest. Despite the video, the killer has never been identified. Dressed in SWAT gear, walking with a distinct limp, they paced the church corridors waiting for her. Why has one of the most chilling security videos in history failed to produce a suspect for a decade? We decode the movements of Missy Bevers' killer. So before I go into the timeline, I just wanted to tell you that when I read that piece of information that the killer had a limp, the first thing I got was that limp was faked. He did that on purpose. I feel almost the energy of a killer for hire, someone who has done this enough that they know how to disguise themselves, not only with their physical appearance in the obvious ways, but also to create little tics, little things that would throw off investigators. So I feel that he walked with a limp. Now, I should have said at the beginning of this video, I do this to help. I do this to bring some clarity, some guidance, the psychic information that comes through, if it helps law enforcement to clear up a case, to bring the family and friends of these victims peace, clarity, closure. This is why I do it. I put an automatic trigger warning for all of this stuff. If you are really sensitive, you may not want to watch true crime videos. I don't think I'm going to go into crazy detail today about anything really chilling or horrifying aside from just what we're dealing with, but I will do my best to give you a trigger warning during that time so that you can fast forward. So, okay, timeline highlights. This is April 18th, 2016. 3:50 a.m. Surveillance captures a suspect in full tactical SWAT gear, helmet, and heavy vest labeled police entering Creekside Church of Christ. He walked with a limp. At 3:50 from 4:20 a.m., the killer calmly wanders the halls for 30 minutes, breaking glass and prying doors open without urgency. At 4:18 a.m., Missy Bevers arrives early to set up for her fitness class. She had moved it indoors last minute due to rain. At 4:20, between 4:20 and 5 a.m., Missy is murdered inside the church. Her arriving students find her body at 5 a.m. What a horrible, horrible experience. So the three questions that I chose to kind of talk about is people still have questions about Missy's purse and electronics. They were left untouched. So the question is, was she a target or did she interrupt a burglary in process? And just psychically, I mean, I've got a deck of cards here as well, but just psychically, I'd like to tune in. I definitely feel that she was the target. Again, as I mentioned, I felt like that limp, walking with a limp, was intentional. It was part of his disguise. And I just keep hearing hitman, someone who, is a gun for hire. So I do feel that she was the target. I feel that this individual knew that she was going to be in the church at the time. I feel that this individual is pretty cold and calculating. Definitely, a sociopath. But I also feel a little bit of mental illness there, in terms of maybe losing touch with reality. And how I would describe this is, if you deal with a pathological liar, one of the reasons that a lot of them can pass a lie detector test is because they believe their lies. And, I feel that this individual, when he steps into a disguise, he becomes that. He'd make a great actor. And he would be the type of actor that would be a method actor. He would dive into the character and forget his own persona in pursuit of this other persona. So I feel that there are times when he doesn't forget his mission, but he steps so deeply into this character that he's created that he kind of loses himself in that. I just pulled a card on this, so let's see what we got. Oh, interesting. 2 of Pentacles. Yeah. So a card of balance and resources. So when we're talking about, was she the target or did she interrupt a burglary in process? I'm feeling really strongly here that she was the target. And the breaking of glass and things of that nature was meant to be sort of a smokescreen, but also he just took pleasure in it. Again, this is someone who embraces the character or the persona that he creates to do these horrific crimes that he's getting paid to do. I feel is what is drawn here. And, he takes pleasure in it. Again, he's a sociopath. He takes pleasure in this energy. So when we're looking at this 2 of Pentacles, he really is balancing between himself and his job and this persona, that he has created. I don't feel that anything was taken. That's not true. I do feel that something was taken. This isn't a serial killer. This is a contract killer, but I feel that he did need to take something as proof that the job was done in the way that the person asked or requested for it to be done. I don't know why, but I keep seeing like chalk. So something that was taken that people wouldn't notice was gone. So I'm seeing chalk, some kind of chalky substance, chalky energy. I'm feeling chalk. The LinkedIn messages. So this wasn't in my update, but if you want to do a little bit of research on her, she was receiving weird, creepy LinkedIn messages about a week before her murder. So the question that is kind of on everybody's mind is, what was the nature of the creepy anonymous messages that she received shortly before her murder? Were they connected? And I'm hearing from a psychic perspective, yes, they were connected, but they were designed to put her on high alert. They were designed to put fear into her. And I feel that whoever paid for this to occur, the coward that paid for this to occur, for this to happen, really has a screw or two loose. I feel also punishment for ignoring her, punishment for her ignoring them, for her dismissing them. This is someone who I want to say has a very fragile ego, and someone who really wanted her to pay for the slight that she had placed upon them. Interesting. The card that I've chosen here is, or that came out, I didn't choose it. The card that came out is the King of Swords energy. And this can be very much a dark energy. This is someone who doesn't think clearly. Speaking of mental illness, this is somebody who also has, I want to say, some mental illness. I'm not a doctor or a medical person at all of any kind. So what I would say to you here is this is someone who has something that paranoid delusions come into place, or they start to feel really paranoid about other people. They start to think people are laughing at them when that's not really the case. So feeling a lot of that energy. This was designed to, again, to put fear into her. And this individual thinks that he's the king. And that's why he was so slighted by the fact that she didn't pay any attention to him. That's how he's reading it, that she slighted him, that she dismissed him or ignored him. I am seeing a male figure. He's on the shorter side. I want to say maybe 5'6", sandy brown hair, straight, wears it in a bit of a bowl cut. This is definitely someone who does come across as a little bit more awkward. I'm feeling like he's someone of average build. And I'm feeling a lot of a school where he works with his hands, where he does mechanical things, working with his hands to assemble things, I'm seeing carpentry in my mind's eye. And this is someone who is cowardly enough to pay someone to take care of somebody for him rather than doing it himself. Who drove the silver Nissan Altima seen circling nearby the business hours before the crime? Circling a nearby business hours before the crime. This is why punctuation is important, peeps. Who drove the silver Nissan Altima seen circling a nearby business hours before the crime? I'm definitely feeling that this is the same individual who committed the crime. I'm seeing this person driving the Nissan Altima was not in his costume or his persona yet. He was doing surveillance. This is someone who had planned, plotted, calculated this murder. He had watched her for a while, and he was just surveilling. It's interesting, because of the rain, because of the weather, he had already anticipated that could be a situation, and it's almost like he's been waiting for a time when she had to take her class indoors. I feel that he also was monitoring her phone, some kind of listening device on her phone, tracker on her phone, so he had access to what she was saying, what she was texting. Feels like the car is borrowed, not rented, borrowed. And it feels like it was borrowed from someone who has a number of different cars. So not their primary car, not their primary vehicle. Let's see what the card has to say here. Interesting. So we got the King of Swords before, now we have the Queen of Swords. So I'm definitely feeling with this information and these two cards I feel are validating the fact that what I'm getting is that there were two people involved in the committing of this crime. The person who hired the mercenary or the hitman for hire to do the job, and the hitman for hire. And I feel that they worked in tandem. They worked as a pair, the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, using, that sword energy to cut somebody down to size. Sword energy is all about communication, pieces. It is also the realm of intuition, but it can also be about cutting words that cut like a knife. And I feel like that's the whole purpose of this. That's what caused this, is she said something that, the individual who paid this hitman to do this because of something she said, and he took offense to it. So you're dealing with really not too bright individuals. I don't need to give a description of the man who did this, because they do already have a description of him. But I do feel, oh, that's interesting. I heard that this man quite possibly has a home base in Los Angeles, in LA, or LA County. I feel that he travels for his work. I feel that he tends to be a bit more sophisticated, and the individual who hired him is not so sophisticated but has connections. And I feel that all trace of their connection was severed, cleared away. But there are people who know the person who hired the hitman. And I feel like this person was connected to Missy's work in a sort of a customer-based way, but not directly connected to Missy, which is why they're struggling to connect the dots with all of this. But I also feel that he had a bit of stalker in him as well, and so he stalked her for a little while, and that I feel is when they had some kind of a, sort of a strange confrontation. But he tended to stay in the shadows. I feel like his stalking was more online. He remained faceless. Again, he's a coward. There's no bravery in this. He's a coward. Okay, guys, so that is our Black Feather crimes for the Missy Bevers crime that has never been solved. And wow, like, all I can say is, hug your loved ones, be kind to one another, because life is so short. I do hope that they find this killer. I hope that they find the hirer of this killer, and I hope that justice is served. For law enforcement, any law enforcement, if there's something that I have said here that is helpful and you'd like to connect with me to get more information, I am open to that. Otherwise, to everyone watching, like, subscribe, click the bell on my YouTube if you like this kind of content. And until we see you for another episode of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, sending you lots of love and support. We'll see you on the flip side, and transform well.